Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Anders Gymnasium in Quoin as the Carterville Lions, Scott Hudson, tonight embark in conference play. First time for this bizarre year that we're dealing with, and Carterville comes into the game 2-0. But this conference play is to me, it's a different ball game.
Well, it is, and this is the first conference game, but the third straight road game to open up this abbreviated season for the Lions. And, DuQuoin 0-2 as well. Now we can sit here and say that DuQuoin has played two stronger opponents than Carterville has, but DuQuoin has a big man in the middle, 6'8". So we'll see how this game plays out. But as we've talked many, many times, when DuQuoin and Carterville play basketball, it's always an entertaining game, and it usually comes down to the last minute of the game.
Absolutely, and one of the things that you're going to hear Coach Shane Hawkins talk about, conference play, is everybody knows everybody. You've seen them for 2, 3, maybe 4 years in some cases, but it's the hustle plays that tend to win games when you're in conference.
Yeah, it comes down to execution. Who executes their plays better on the offensive and defensive end? As you said, they know each other knows the other team's personnel. They know what the coaches like to try and do. So it's about execution. And Carterville 2 wins. I will say this quickly. I'll give you a quick synopsis of Carterville's season to this point. The good, the bad, and the reality. The good is Carterville's holding their opponents in the first 2 games to 32 points a game, which is very good. They've created a lot of turnovers those 2 games. Now, it's probably unsustainable to do that over the course of this abbreviated season. The bad, obviously, Carterville's only averaging 41 points a game in those 2 games. You're going to have to average probably high 50s, low 60s to win in this conference. And quite frankly, Carterville's going to have to shoot the ball much better. They've gone minutes, sometimes quarters, without shooting the ball very well at all. That'll have to change here tonight. The reality, doesn't matter. Carterville's 2-0. That's the first time in quite a while that they've been 2-0 to start a season. So the bottom line, Carterville hasn't played great at parts of those 2 games, but they're 2-0, and they've got some momentum going right now.
I'm trying to think back, maybe 2015, that team, the super sectional team, maybe started off 2-0, but I'll have to look back at the record books at that. Of course, we are going to have all the action coming up for you here on NewsRadio WJPF. We've got the live stream fired up as well, so you can flip over and watch the game along with the radio broadcast if you would like. But we social distancing here at Anders Gymnasium. The one thing that we're seeing here tonight with a handful of fans, and I know that each of the players were given 2 tickets. They could give them to whoever they wanted to come in fan-wise. But it looks like the Indiana cheerleaders are over on the sideline on the far side. Now they're just sitting in the stands, but they are there and in the gym. We're going to go on and take a break. Moments ago, I had a chance to chat with head coach Shane Hawkins. We talked about tonight's action, and we'll have that coming up. This is the First Mid-Bank pregame show. You're listening to Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF. Okay. Hey, if you're watching online already, I know we're just promoted Coach's interview, but that's going to be back at the station going out over the radio. So when you hear us kick down our mics here, it's because I'm trying to listen to what's being said over the air. It doesn't air on the live stream. We're glad to have you, and hopefully we'll have a good ball game tonight. Go on and go to break after this, Brian. Okay. Welcome back to Quoin Anders Gymnasium. Dave McKenzie along with Scott Hudson as we're getting you set for the first conference game for the Carterville Lions tonight. Carterville, of course, coming off 2 wins to start the season. It was a week ago tonight, Scott. We went to Trico. Carterville beat the Pioneers 46-30.
Yeah, it was a great second half by the Lions. You know, it was 15-14 at half Trico. So it wasn't great in that, but I think that means Carterville outscored Trico by 17 in the second half and played well. And then you look at the Heron game on Friday night, and boy, what a first quarter for Carterville. Up 19-2, you had that feeling like, man, this thing could get out of hand. And it almost did the opposite way. Carterville hung on to win by 2, 36-34. But as I said in the pregame, you know, they're 2-0, and it doesn't matter how you got there, they're 2-0.
Absolutely. And we're getting set here tonight as both teams finish their warm-ups, start to head toward their respective sidelines. And things are a little different here at Quoin. Now the teams are set up on the left-hand side of the gym, what would have been the visitor side of the gym in years past. Scores table is on that side as well. April Biddle down there, she takes care of the scorebook for the Lions. She's on toward the left, so not a lot going on, just a handful of fans. But we've got a pretty good perch here. We're going to go on and take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the tip as the Lions take on the Indians in conference play on News Radio WJPF. National anthem is complete, and we are getting ready, set for the starting lineups. Of course, Carterville on the road tonight. They will be the visiting team. They're in their road blues with the orange letters. Quoin in their home whites with the black letters and the red borders. For the Carterville Lions, Shane Hawkins has decided to go with the 5'8" senior Bryce Anderson, the 6'3" senior Ben Hake, also 5'11" senior Max Poole, and Eli Downen, the captain, the quarterback of the Carterville Lions. He's 6'4". He wears number 24. He is on the starting lineup, of course. And I'm looking to see who the fifth guy is. I think it may be. Can't really tell yet as they're still in the huddle. We'll get that fifth starter for you for Coach Shane Hawkins coming up here in just a moment as the officials tell Coach, hey, get you guys out here. We're ready to go. And we'll pick that up and we'll get the Quoin starters for you as well. First conference game in river-to-river action is going to be Jake Hickson that gets the start for Coach Shane Hawkins as well. So on the floor for the Lions, Anderson, Hake, Max Poole, Eli Downen, and Jake Hickson. For the Quoin Indians, it will be Jaden Smith, Jake Prather, Trajan Smith, Wade Roberson, and Maurice Washington. Washington is the 6'8" junior as Carterville gets the ball down under the bucket, misses the shot, and Quoin brings it the other way. Quickly to the right wing with the basketball, it's Prather. He hands it off to Smith. Prather's going to fire way long over the top of the rim. And it's Downen that pulls down the board and takes it across the timeline. Just underway, Bryce Anderson from about 18 off the back of the iron, off the top of the board, and the rebound to Maurice Washington for DuQuoin. Here are the Indians. They get it to Washington. The ball is tipped toward the baseline. He has to just fling it up top, and it's controlled there by Trajan Smith for DuQuoin. No score as we're just underway. DuQuoin with the basketball. Smith, Jaden Smith, to Washington. Washington, a 6'8" junior.
And he's not a skinny 6'8"
no,
either.
He's solid. And Jake Hickson, who is 6'5", looks kind of tiny against Mr. Washington. The shot no good by the Indians, and the putback is good by Wade Roberson.
Yeah, you got the offensive rebound, and they lead Carterville 2-0 early.
Carterville's basketball. Eli down in between the circles, in the paint to Hickson. His shot is no good, but he picks up the foul, and the foul is going to be on the 6'8", Maurice Washington from DuQuoin.
Well, I think one thing Carterville may try to do with Washington, the big guy, is make him play defense all over the floor, outside and inside, make him chase, and obviously try to get him in foul trouble.
First free throw from Hickson is no good. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by IBEW Local 702. Proud to support Carterville Lions sports. IBEW Local 702, providing a better lifestyle for members and a better life for all. Hickson hits his second free throw. It's a 2-1 Indian lead here early in the first quarter. With the basketball, the Indians, they take it into the paint. Little floater from Jaden Smith, no good. The putback by Maurice Washington is good. He's got his first bucket of the game, and the Indians lead 4-1. Shot is missed on the far end by the Indians. Carterville gets the board. They bring it back. Or excuse me, the Indians have it. Carterville missed on the other end. Getting my colors on the uniforms mixed up. Into Washington, puts the ball on the floor, and Carterville forces a turnover for the first time in the game. Quickly the other way, Downen takes it to the right elbow. Shot is up off the front of the iron, no good. Long rebound to Bryce Anderson. Over to the right side to Downen, now a long three off the iron. That shot is no good by Max Poole, and it's Washington that gets the board for the Indians. Into the front court, Jaden Smith matched up. Bryce Anderson on him defensively. It's Jake Prather, dribbles to the top of the key, backs it up, down and comes out on him. Now they get it over toward the right side, back to Jaden Smith, the junior. Left-hand dribble on the right wing, and Bryce Anderson just picks his pocket, takes it right from him, and we have a whistle and a foul.
No, actually, it's kicking the ball. Anderson tried to throw a bounce pass to Hake, who was streaking down the right side of the lane, and it was kicked by one of the Indian players.
So Carterville maintains possession. Anderson to Eli Downen. Over to Jake Hickson. And now they work it to the left side. That is Max Poole. Long three from Bryce Anderson is short. And the attempted save on the baseline from Max Poole actually goes out of bounds on the far sideline. Carterville is moving from right to left on your radio dial. Into the game for the first time, it's going to be Caden Hawkins. He replaces Max Poole. Comes over and gets a breather, and we have a timeout on the floor. It comes at the 4:58 mark, and the Indians lead Carterville 4-1. It's Lions basketball here on News Radio WJPF. $60, please, $60. Back at DuQuoin, the Lions trail 4-1 as we are at the 4:49 mark here of the first quarter. Dave McKenzie along with Scott Hudson. Thank you for joining us here on NewsRadio WJPF. Indians basketball into the game. As we mentioned earlier, Caden Hawkins checks onto the game for the first time for the Lions. Indians work the ball around the perimeter to the far left corner. Back to Maurice Washington. Top of the key, it goes to Jaden Smith. Right-hand dribble, takes it to the elbow, couple of steps. Layup is no good. Rebound to Bryce Anderson for the Lions. Carterville takes it the other way. 4-1 the score. Anderson looked like he had a wide-open layup. Didn't even look at the board. Gets it to Hawkins. Now it comes out top to down, and his long three is off the iron. Rebound to Maurice Washington. I think that's rebound number 3 for Washington.
Actually, it's 4, one of those offensive.
Down low as DuQuoin works it to Wade Roberson. He gets his second field goal of the game, and it is a 6-1 Indians lead.
Now, Carterville 0 of 7 from the field to start their game. And of the 6 points for DuQuoin, 4 of those have been off offensive rebounds.
Downen takes it into the paint, spin move off the block, just flings it up, and it goes in.
Eli
Downen, I don't know how that one went in there, but Downen gets his first field goal of the game, and it's 6-3. Indians ball. Jaden Smith over to Trajan Smith. Dumps it down low to Washington. Can't handle. Carterville forces another turnover on the Indians.
Now that's their third turnover. Carterville's got to start turning those into points, though.
Absolutely, but Carterville almost turns it over. Nice play defensively by Jake Prather, the senior for DuQuoin, as he slapped the ball out of bounds, but it's going to stay with the boys in blue. Into the game now is going to be Xavier Baxter for the Indians. 6-foot sophomore. He comes in to replace Maurice Washington. So Carterville has the size advantage now with Washington on the bench. Eli Downen is going to drive the paint, gets bumped, actually has the ball stripped away, and the turnover the other way. Right-hand layup is no good. Rebound is in the hands of Xavier Baxter, but man, what a takeaway from Ben Hake. He just ripped it out of his hands. Bryce Anderson's shot is short, and the Indians get the board. Shane Hawkins throws his hands up, wondering what the heck is this? Run your offense. Indians back at it. The 3-point lead. 2:39 remaining here in the first. Little floater top of the key is no good. Rebound by Baxter. It's on the floor, and we have a battle on a jump ball, as it was Ben Hake that was able to reach in and get his hand on the ball, and the possession arrow will remain with DuQuoin.
Yeah, Baxter's made his presence felt in the couple of minutes he's played.
We have timeout on the floor. Officials head to the scoring bench. I think they've got things lined out. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by SIH, where they offer rehabilitation for acute, inpatient, and outpatient care. Visit SIH.net for more information. 6-3 the score. 2:20 remaining here in the opening quarter. Indians basketball, kick it out, wide open three is buried by Roberson once again. He's got 7 of the 9 points. And the Indians lead it 9-3. Peyton Biddles into the game for the Lions, as is Cade Lustenberger. Down low, it's down and puts the shot up, and he gets the foul.
Now Carterville's got to go to the line and start making some free throws. Carterville 1 of 2 from the line. DuQuoin yet to go to the free throw line.
The foul was on Jake Prather. That's the first. Second team foul on the Indians, and Eli misses the free throw. At some point, this cold shooting by the Lions has just got to break. You would think.
Yeah, and let's hope it's sooner rather than later.
Exactly. As Eli hits the second, he's got 3, and it's a 5-point Indian lead here at the 2-minute warning of the first quarter.
Townsend Barton into the game, his first action this season.
And congratulations to Townsend. He finished 3rd at that decathlon last weekend.
Wow.
And he actually, I think he found out today, he's qualified to head to a national competition. You heard Shane Hawkins on the radio broadcast in a pregame show talk about that. Congratulations to Townsend. But his first action of the year on the court. Indians ball. Baxter gets it to Smith. He just fires off the back of the iron. Big rebound. Maurice Washington had it. Can't control it. But the putback by Xavier Baxter is good. And the two big guys kind of dominating the Lions right now.
Well, they've got 4 offensive rebounds, and they're turning those into points.
Townsend Barton, his first possession, takes it to the rack, and he gets the foul, and that's what is needed for the Lions. Be aggressive, take it to the rack, and Townsend a chance to convert on the free throws.
Well, Carterville, this is the deepest Carterville basketball team since I've been here. I think this is my 5th year. They can go 9, 10 deep and not really miss anything.
Townsend hits his free throw, the first of 2. And at the 1:11 mark, it's a 6-point lead for the Indians. Second free throw from Townsend is a brick. Keeps it 11-5. We're rolling our way toward 1 minute remaining here in the opening quarter. Carterville 2-0. Quoin 0-2 coming into this game as the Lions force another turnover. They take it the other way. Taking it to the rack, up and under. What a putback from Caden Hawkins as he follows the miss shot from Peyton Biddle. And Carterville's within 4.
Yeah, Biddle took maybe a little bit of a bad shot there, but Hawkins followed it up nicely.
40 seconds remaining, 11-7. Making our way toward the end of the first quarter. They work the ball around the perimeter. It is Baxter that has it, dribbles just inside the arc, gets it back up top to Jaden Smith. He steps inside the arc, backs it up, and Quoin looks like they're trying to run the clock. The final 22 seconds. No, he takes it right to the rack as Xavier Baxter gets fouled. And we'll see who they're going to call for the foul for Carterville.
I think it's Townsend Barton. It looked like Downing got all ball, and then Barton came in and got arm.
It is on Barton. Free throw from Xavier Baxter is no good. So Quoin makes changes. Checking out of the game is Prather. Also, Jaden Smith coming in is Wade Roberson once again, and Ethan Morse, his first action for Coach Jason James. Second free throw is good from Xavier Baxter. He's got 3 in the game. And it's a 12-7 5-point lead for the Indians. 11 seconds on the clock. Caden Hawkins dribbles up between the circles. Around, gets it to Peyton Biddle. He's going to fire from 3. Off the iron, short. The Indians the rebound. Here they come the other way. Lob pass for Ethan Morris at the buzzer is no good. Goes out of bounds, and we end the first quarter. The Indians lead Carterville 12-7. Stay tuned. Second quarter action is next on News Radio WJPF. Twelve to 7 the score as we start play here in the second quarter. Indians with that 5-point lead, and Carterville throws it away down in the far corner, giving the ball right back to Quoin.
Yeah, Carterville shot a whopping 17% in that first quarter, 42% for Quoin.
12 to 7 the score. Length of the floor for the Indians. Bringing it up is going to be Ethan Morris, the senior. Runs into a double team, able to dribble around, gets it to Trayshawn Smith, and now they work it to Baxter. Back to Smith. Smith towards the right wing. Has Peyton Biddle on him defensively. Up top to Maurice Washington. Now back to Ethan Morris. Over to the left side, taking it into the paint. Roberson runs over the top of Peyton Biddle.
They're going to call travel before he hit Biddle. And that's 5 turnovers now for Quoin, but David Carterville has yet to take advantage of those turnovers. And they've got to start scoring here pretty quick.
Coming up, we'll have our Ron Ward Chevrolet halftime show. We'll break down the first half action. Oh, nice pass down low to Down and takes it to the rack. It's the bucket and the foul. And it looks like it may be on the big guy, the 6'8 junior, Maurice Washington. And if that's the case, that'll be foul number 2. Dowden gets the bucket.
Well, Downan's much quicker than Washington, and Washington just got behind him and tried to block it from behind, and he got more arm than ball.
Dowden gets the free throw, the end one, so it's a 2-point lead now for the Indians, 12-10. Coming into the game, replacing Cade Lustenberger is going to be Jake Hickson. Hickson going to match up. Looks like he's going to match up right now against Xavier Baxter. As Dowden is taken inside the paint. Maurice Washington is out of the game right now. He's got those 2 fouls. Into the paint, they work it over to the left corner. Three-pointer, the three-point attempt is no good. Rebound back to Baxter, and his floater through the lane is no good. Carterville gets the board. They take it the other way. Dowden toward the right wing. They're going to fire from 3. Ends in and out. Rebound to the Indians. Nice pass to Morris. He can't convert. The rebound by Baxter, and he gets fouled. And once again, Xavier Baxter is going to go to the line and shoot free throws for Quoin.
Baxter has 4 offensive rebounds in this first half, and he didn't even start.
Yeah, he's been a beast so far. 12-10, 6:39. The foul called on Townsend Barton. That was his second. As the free throw from Xavier Baxter is good. He's got 2 free throws and a field goal, 4 points so far. And it gives Quoin the 13-10 lead. Baxter's free throw, rims out. Jake Hickson gets the board. So it's a 3-point Indian lead. Bryce Anderson quickly across the timeline, hands it to Peyton Biddle. He loses his footing, but it's Anderson that takes the basketball. He's between the circles, takes it down the paint, right-hand floater, banks it off the board, no good. Rebound to Roberson for the Indians. Quickly the other way, they get it to Xavier Baxter. Baxter, head fake, whips the pass to the right wing. Into the hands of Jake Prather. Now back to Xavier Baxter, and they're going to reset the offense as Jaden Smith takes over on the logo at midcourt. Carterville matched up man-to-man. They bring it near side. That is Baxter. Looks inside, drives the baseline, bumps into the defender, and a charge is called on Xavier Baxter as he runs over Bryce Anderson, and that's a turnover, giving the ball to the Lions.
Anderson baited him into that charge. He was just waiting for him to come down that baseline, and that's 6 turnovers for the Indians now.
So the 2 big guys have 2 fouls apiece, and that's here at the 5:54 mark of the second quarter. Carterville trails by 3, 13-10. Bryce Anderson looks at Shane Hawkins, sporting the bright orange shoes on the sidelines tonight, as he should. Peyton Biddle looks inside, gets it to Hickson, who comes out top on the right wing. Left-hand dribble, one time to Ben Hake. Hake now over on the right side, it goes to Seamer. Seamer into the game, I believe, for the first time. Peyton Biddle has it, crossover dribble, takes it to the elbow, leaves it over to the right wing, head fake, ball's turned over, gives it right back to Quoin. Second of the quarter, and out on the break, it is Jaden Smith that gets his first field goal of the game, and it's a 5-point Indian lead.
Yeah, on the turnover, Hawkins is wanting a kicking the ball, which the ball was kicked, but the officials didn't call it.
Carterville into the front court, to the far side if you're watching on our live stream this evening. The left side if you're watching on your radio.
I think they're going to call Baxter for pushing. He's got his hands up there like, what'd I do?
They do call it on Xavier Baxter, and that's going to be, I've got him for 3, and that's what the scoreboard puts on there. Eli Downen will come in now, take advantage with Baxter on the bench. Jake Hickson will check out for the Lions. So on the floor, it is Bryce Anderson. It is Ben Hake. Also, Taylor Seamer, Peyton Biddle. And I'm missing one as it is Biddle that takes it to the rack, and he gets the bucket and the foul. And Peyton will go to the line, the sophomore, and try to convert the and one.
Biddle saw an opening and he took it. Nice drive by the sophomore. And if he can make this free throw, Carterville will only be down by 2.
Trayshawn Smith picks up the foul for the Indians. Caden Hawkins getting ready to check in. Biddle's free throw in and out, no good. And the rebound to the Indians. It's a 3-point game. To Quoin with the basketball. Ethan Morris over to the left wing. Jaden Smith. Excuse me. That is Trayshawn Smith. They work it around to the top of the key. Ball's tipped away. Peyton Biddle steals it. Takes it to the hole. Right-hand layup is good. Back-to-back buckets from Peyton Biddle. Nice aggressive play. And they take advantage of the turnover.
Well, whether it's Anderson, Biddle, or Hawkins, when they're in their game, they're very quick with their hands.
Carterville gets the trap up top, but Quoin, Coach Jason James calls a timeout and didn't like what he saw. But great defense by the Lions, and they pulled it within 1 here at the 4:17 mark. We will be back in 60 seconds. This is Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF.
He's watching. Justin Walker.
Thanks, Coach. Hey, everybody watching online. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoy it. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by our friends at Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating in beautiful downtown Carterville for over 30 years. Charlie's, they can handle any heating or cooling system issue you may be experiencing, and no job is too big or too small. Call Charlie's at 985-2502. 15-14 the score. Indians have had the lead from the very beginning, but Carterville's finally cut it down to 1 as they've taken advantage of turnovers. Indians have the ball in the front court. It's Jaden Smith. Gets the ball from his brother, Trayshawn Smith, and now Trayshawn takes over toward the right wing. Top of the key, it goes to Prather. They work it left side to Morris. Morris back to Smith. Top of the key, sharp shot partially blocked. I'll get it right. Carterville takes over, and they take it the other way as they force the turnover. Long three from the right wing. Caden Hawkins airball. Indians are on the run. Here comes Jaden Smith. Down the lane, runs over the defender, puts the shot up, and the rebound to the Lions. It was Hake that gets the board. Bryce Anderson back the other way for the Lions. Caden Hawkins top of the circle to Downen. Back to Hawkins. Now left wing it goes. They work it around the perimeter toward the right side. Bryce Anderson looks inside, wants to get it to Downen. Downen's asking for it, but they have to work it back around. Now Downen has it in the paint. Spin move, right hand. Hook is no good. It goes out of bounds, and they say it's going to be with Quoin.
I think they flipped the coin, and heads Quoin, tails Carterville, and Carterville got the heads.
When you look for help and it's not there, that's a lonely feeling. You're on an island out there. Jaden Smith. Bryce Anderson on him defensively. Shane Hawkins pacing the sideline just below us. 15-14 with 2:45 remaining in the half. Coming up, we have our halftime report. They throw the ball out of bounds, and Carterville forces another turnover on the Indians.
Yeah, they've got 8 turnovers in the game. Carterville, I've only got them for 3. So Carterville's doing a good job of taking care of the basketball. They just got to do a better job of shooting.
Ron Ward Chevrolet halftime show is coming up. 2:23 on the clock. Still 15-14. Downing, he's just going to fire from the right corner. Gets it to fall. Eli, he has 9 in the game now for the Lions.
That's Carterville's first 3 of the game.
And they had the lead for the first time, 17-15. Long 3 from the right wing goes right back to Quoin. Ethan Morris buries it. And it's a 1-point Indian lead. Carterville into the front court. Now Anderson gets it down low as Eli's able to just drop step, take it to the rack, lays it off the glass. 11 now for Eli, and Quoin or Carterville back up on by 1.
Yeah, without Washington, the big man on the floor right now.
Open 3 from the right wing, no good, and it's Ben Hake that rips down the board for the Lions. Now Caden Hawkins takes it to the left side. That's Anderson. To the paint, floater, no good. Jaden Smith comes away with the board for the Indians. Behind the back dribble, into the paint, over to the left wing. Head fake with the basketball. Prather takes it to the hole, gets the bucket, and the foul on Carterville is going to be called.
It's a charge. Anderson again.
That's 2 now, I believe, on Jake Prather for charging.
Anderson just stood his ground again and drew another charging foul.
Good defense by the Lions, and a chance to take advantage of that with 1:19 remaining in the half. And Carterville up 1, 19-18. Caden Hawkins. Jaden Smith on him. Trajan Smith bumps him in the backcourt. Trajan picks up his second foul. So there's 1, 2, 3 Indians with 2 fouls. And Xavier Baxter has 3.
Well, it really helps when you've got the big 6'8" Washington sitting on the bench because it opens the middle up. It lets guys like Downing, really kind of go inside and do his thing.
9 team fouls. Carterville in the bonus. Caden Hawkins' free throw is good. It's the first. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale. With 5 area locations to serve your banking needs, branch and ATM locator online at tboc.com. Bank of Carbondale, proud to support Lions sports. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. The second from Hawkins is good. He's got 4 for the Lions. And Carterville's up 3 now with 63 seconds remaining in the half. Jaden Smith wants to get the clear. Gets it to his brother, Trajan, who drives the baseline from the right block, puts the shot up. It was short. Ball's on the floor, and it's Caden Hawk that comes away with for the Lions. Cross midcourt, right-hand dribble to the right side. Runs into the double team and has his pocket picked. Taking it the other way with the left-hand layup is Wade Roberson. He's got 9 for the Indians, and it's a 1-point lead. Downing's floater from the paint, no good. And the Indians get it right back, so 3 possessions in about the last 10 seconds. Carterville's nursing that 1-point lead.
I thought Downing could have drove to the basket instead of pulling up at the free throw line.
Quoin wants to hold for the final shot. As there's 11 seconds and a whistle underneath, and it's going to be a pushing foul that is called on the Indians and a turnover. Giving it right back to the Lions, so Carterville has a chance to close out the quarter.
Yeah, 10 turnovers now for Quoin. Let's see if Carterville can take advantage of it. They've had a much better second quarter shooting the ball.
Trajan Smith is who gets charged with the foul, so there's 2 Indians now. Trajan Smith and Xavier Baxter with 3 fouls. That's the 10th foul here in the half. Double bonus for the Lions. And Caden Hawkins at the stripe. He's got 4. Free throw is in the air. He has 5.
Carterville has shot a lot of free throws in this first half.
We'll have all the stats. Scott will break it down for you coming up in our Ron Ward Chevrolet halftime report. Second from number 21, the 5'10 sophomore. Is good.
That's Carterville's 12th free throw of the first half.
And a timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here. Carterville is going to be playing 3 games this week. Friday night, Anna Jonesboro will come to Carterville. Carterville's first home game of the
Hey, how
year.
do you get there?
We've not been there in a long
I
time.
know. It's been a while.
If
Over a year.
I'll Google search it.
Okay.
Send it to
All right.
you.
Okay.
Saturday night, the Pinckneyville Panthers. Let me tell you what I can tell you about basketball this weekend. It's even going to be cold in the gym.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be doing the polar plunge this weekend.
What about ice cream? Will we stop?
Oh, I'll do that. That's year round, buddy. That's year round.
I figured you probably would. 11.1 seconds on the clock. Length of the floor for the Indians. Jaden Smith gets it over to the left wing. Cross court, nice pass as they find a cutting Ethan Morris to the bucket. Carterville shot at the buzzer is no good. And last second shot as we've got an injured Carterville Lion on the floor.
That doesn't look good.
Is that Bryce? Trying to decipher who it is because we can't see a number. We'll close out the quarter and try to figure this out for you. At the half, the Lions lead the Indians 23-22. Stay tuned. Our Ron Ward Chevrolet halftime show is next. Welcome back to Anders Gymnasium here at Quoin High School. Dave McKenzie along with Scott Hudson. We're at the half, 23-22. At the end of the second quarter there, Carterville's Bryce Anderson, who has been having issues with the right ankle for some time, and he's got a brace on that ankle that he has to nurse. He was on the floor just right at mid-court, but he's up moving around now and right below us because the socially distanced halftimes are different. Teams can't go to the locker room because the locker rooms aren't big enough to maintain the social distancing. And so they have to do it here on the floor. They've got a whiteboard. Shane Hawkins just below us. But Carterville, who started off cold, started to warm up in the second quarter, forced turnovers, took advantage of that. And here at the half, they lead it by 23-22.
Now, the one thing Carterville's been consistent on in the first 2 games and 2 quarters of this one is they've created a lot of turnovers. Their guards are so quick that they really can create those turnovers. They probably need to do a better job of turning those into points. But at half, Carterville only shooting 29% from the field in the first half. Quoin 41%. Carterville 8 of 12 free throws, 2 of 4 for Quoin. From three-point land, Carterville only 1 of 6. Quoin 2 of 7. Rebounding, Carterville really got out-rebounded in that first half, 19-11. Washington led Quoin with 5. Leading the Lions was Hake with 4. Turnovers, as I mentioned, a big key in that first half. Carterville with only 4, 10 for Quoin. And if you look at the big reason why Carterville is up at halftime by 1 is they've gone to the free throw line 12 times and hit 8. Quoin's only been there 4 times and hit half of those.
When you look at scoring, we'll start first with the DuQuoin Indians. They're led by Wade Roberson, the 6'3 senior. He's got 9 first-half points. Then you have Ethan Morris that has a three-pointer and a field goal. He's got 5. Xavier Baxter, who was a beast on the boards, he scored 4 points, but he's on the bench with 3 fouls. Also, you have Maurice Washington, the 6'8 junior. He's got 2 fouls. He had 2 points. And Jaden Smith, the 5'10 junior, has 2. DuQuoin has 22 first-half points. Carterville is led by, of course, Eli Downen. He's got 11 first-half points. Caden Hawkins, how about 6 first-half points from Caden? Peyton Biddle added 4. And let's see here. Townsend Barton with a free throw, and Jake Hickson with a free throw. Carterville leads DuQuoin 23-22.
Well, with Anderson's ankle issues right now, I would say you're going to see a lot more of Biddle and Hawkins playing out the point, whether it be the 1 or the 2. And, Hawkins and Biddle, I go back to the Trico game. When that 5 players of the 3 sophomores and 2 seniors played, they really created a lot of havoc. They did a lot of things on both ends of the floor that were positive. And you're probably going to see that again tonight in this second half, like I said, with Anderson hurt. Biddle with a couple of nice drives, a couple of big baskets. Hawkins with some big baskets, a couple of nice steals by Hawkins and Biddle. So I think Washington, the big guy for DuQuoin, was a factor about the first 2-3 minutes of the game. He had 2 stick backs for DuQuoin, and after that, he really wasn't that big of a factor, and he got in foul trouble, had to go to the bench, and that's kind of when Carterville started getting their offense rolling.
23-22. Carterville leads it by 1. And we'll continue here on our Ron Ward Chevrolet halftime show coming up on News Radio WJPF. Hey, everybody watching online, appreciate it. Good ball game so far. Welcome back to Lions basketball here on News Radio WJPF. Dave McKenzie and Scott Hudson want to say welcome to a brand new sponsor for Carterville Lions Sports this year, and that is Advanced Surgical Technology. They offer same-day appointments and real people that actually answer the phone when you call. They have locations in Marion and in Mount Vernon where they provide the highest level of integrity and service. Visit advancedsurgicaltechnology.com today. Glad to have you as a sponsor to Carterville Lions Sports. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Not knowing what the year was going to be like, didn't know who was going to be with us, but man, we've got quite the list, and it just seems like it grows every game, and we're just thrilled to have you with us here for Lions broadcast. And we'll have football coming up in a few weeks, Scott Hudson.
Going to put the pads on, going to get the helmets on. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit better than what it is outside right now.
Jared Beard said that DuQuoin had a football practice yesterday on the turf, and there's snow on the turf.
Yeah, you probably can't see the turf now.
So
yeah, it's going to be interesting late night and probably tomorrow with the weather. We'll see what happens. I know there are some games that are scheduled for tomorrow night, basketball-wise.
All I know is this: I'm glad we're playing tonight and not tomorrow. So
yes, we got this in, and the last I heard coming up here is that they've kind of switched the forecast a little bit. It's supposed to be a little worse to the south
Correct.
than it is here, but you never know with Mother Nature.
We're going to go on and take our final break here on a Ron Ward Chevrolet halftime report. Stay tuned. Second half action is next. Lions lead it 23-22 here on News Radio WJPF. (23-22) the score here at Quoin. Carterville starts play here in the second half with the lead, but the Indians have the basketball, and they're going to be moving from right to left on your radio dial. As it's Jaden Smith, fall away jumper's no good. The putback is good though from Maurice Washington, who's back in the game. He's got 4, and the Indians lead it by 1.
Washington making his presence felt early in the third.
Bryce Anderson's ankle appears to be okay, as pushing a foul's being called on Carterville.
I think there may have been an illegal screen. I think they're going to get Hickson for that, so that's a Carterville turnover, their first of the second half. Anderson now hobbling a little bit. He's going to have to come out, and Hawkins in.
And Bryce is not happy as he comes over to the sideline. That ankle really kind of torqued it there at the end of the first half. And he has into the game now for the Lions. It's going to be Caden Hawkins replacing Bryce Anderson. Into the paint, they get it down low to the low block. Maurice Washington just pushes his way to the rim, misses the shot. The ball goes off of Quoin, and it's going to be coming back the other way to the Lions.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a great touch around the rim, but he is so big. Yeah, he doesn't need it. I mean, he's so big once he gets down low. He's just going to bully his way in there to the basket.
6'8", junior, Maurice Washington. Man, I know teams would love to have him.
Yeah.
Down, little 10-footer from right in front of the free throw line is good for Down, and he's got 13 here in the game. Carterville's up 1, 25-24. Jaden Smith, Caden Hawkins on him defensively. Right-hand dribble between the legs toward the right side. Takes it to Morris. Morris pulls that dribble, top of the key. Travel not called. Now it's on the left wing. They leave it for Morris. Around to Roberson. Top of the key, it goes to Jaden Smith. He drives, pushes it to the left corner. 3 from there, off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound from Downen. Downen's going to bring it across the timeline. 6:20 remaining. Carterville up 1, 25-24. As it's Max Poole pulls up the dribble from the baseline. Now gets it to Hickson. Hickson can't handle the pass, turns it over. Indians take it the other way. Jaden Smith now to Morris. Morris looks inside, takes it top of the circle. Now it's a little give and go between Prather and Roberson. Pass intended for Washington's tipped away. Carterville gets the ball, and Caden Hawkins is tripped up. And that's going to be foul number 1 on Jaden Smith.
Oh, good defensive pressure by Carterville on the other end to create that turnover.
25-24. Lions have the ball on the baseline just below us. They inbound to Ben Hake. Now to Downen. Now to Max Poole. Poole gets it to Hickson. He bumps into the big guy, Washington. Doesn't go anywhere. Has to get rid of the ball. Now Downen from just above the left elbow. Floater's no good. High arcer off the front of the iron. Indians are on the run. Roberson takes it. Puts the shot up from 12. Out of bounds. The ball off of the Lions. It's going to stay with the Indians.
Yeah, a bad break there. Quoin couldn't get the shot to go, but the ball went off. I believe that was Hake. And this ball will stay with the Indians.
IBEW Local 702, happy to have the Carterville Lions back in action. IBEW Local 702, creating a better lifestyle for members and a better life for all. Indians ball. Open three, left wing. Good. Set up perfectly. Jake Prather just hit his first field goal of the game. It's a 3 for the Indians, and Quoin leads it by 2, 27-25. Down from the left wing for the Lions. 3-ball is no good from Max Poole. Taking it the other way. The shot was partially blocked of Jake Prather. He just wasn't in control. And his shot hit off the bottom of the rim, and the Lions get the board. They're going to bring it back. They trail by 2. Open 3 from Downen. Off the iron. His pace is pretty quick here in the third quarter as the Indians throw the ball off the back of the backboard. And that's going to give the ball right back to Carterville when trying to save the ball from going out of bounds on the baseline, threw it up and it hit the back of the board. And we have a timeout that is taken by the Carterville Lions. It comes at the 4:48 mark. Indians lead at 27-25. We'll return in 60 seconds here on News Radio WJPF. Carterville Lions are trying to keep their season undefeated, trying to take it to 3-0, but Quoin is 0-2, and they're wanting to pick up their first win of the season, and we got a good ball game right here.
Yeah, it's a good ball game, and we knew it would be because it's always a good ball game between these two teams, no matter what the records are.
Carterville has the ball on the baseline just below us. To the right on your radio dial. Inbound pass up top to Peyton Biddle. Of course, keep in mind, these players are wearing masks out there running around and somehow playing competitive sports with a mask. They get it over to the right wing. That is Hake, kicks it over to Hickson. He finds a lane, takes it to the rack, and he gets a foul. Missed the shot, but the foul is going to be called on the 5'10 junior, Jaden Smith for Quoin. That's foul number 2. And Hickson will go to the line and shoot a pair of free throws.
Carterville did a pretty good job in the first half, 8 of 12 from the free throw line.
Jake's first free throw, the high arcing rainbow off the front of the iron.
Remind me never to mention the shooting stats before somebody gets ready to shoot for Carterville.
Broadcasting 101, baby.
Well,
you were gone that day. I'm sorry.
that's right.
Yeah, you were absent. That was
I cheated on that test. That's what it was. I cheated off one of the dumb kids in the class.
Sorry. You set it up. I had to knock it down,
know.
you know. 27-26, Carterville.
If I open up the door, just walk right through it.
Sometimes you get to running. 27-26, up 1. The Indians have the lead and the ball. The shot bounces off the front and the back of the iron, and the putback from Maurice Washington is good. 6 in the game for Washington, and it's back to a 3-point Indian lead. Downen gets the ball to Hickson. He drives the baseline, has to kick it up top, throws it away. Indians the other way. Jaden Smith leaves it for Prather as he just lays it over the front of the iron, and wow, this lead quickly back to 5 for the Indians. Eli down and loses the handle, gets it back, turnaround jumper, eye off the glass. Hickson there with the putback. His putback is no good. And Wade Roberson gets the board. They outlet pass to Washington. He throws it up, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Eli Downing.
Now, Carterville's playing a little bit out of control right now. You know, Quoin has all the momentum when Carterville brings the ball down. It seems like they're in a hurry, that there's only 5 seconds left on the clock to shoot. They just need to set up their offense and run it.
Maurice Washington, who had only 2 first-half points, he's got 4 here, and he's at the stripe shooting 2. First one for the 6'8" junior is no good. It's a 5-point lead, 31-26. 3:36 remaining here in the third. Townsend Barton set to check in. As Jake Hickson comes out. Cade Lustenberger is back in the game for Shane Hawkins and the Lions. The second free throw from Washington, no good. Lustenberger gets the board. So Carterville on the floor. Hawkins, Lustenberger, Ben Hake, Downen, and Peyton Biddle. Caden Hawkins gets it to Lustenberger. Ball back to Downen. His long 3, top of the keys, no good. Lustenberger the board. Controls again, throws it away. Turnover on the Lions. The other way, the ball is off the foot of the Indians. Carterville gets it and brings it back. Peyton Biddle leaves it for Caden Hawkins. He just banks it off the glass. And Caden now has 8 points in the game. Carterville's within 3.
This game, it's like when one team gets a lead, it's just like they want to give it right back.
Maurice Washington, his pass tipped away. Ball's on the floor. They're going to fight for it. Indians come away with it. They get it to Roberson. Now from long 3, buried from the left wing by Ethan Morris. What a shot. He's got 2 threes in the game, 8 points, and it's 34-28 Indians. Down and hits the floor for the Lions. And the shot no good from Ben Hake. Quickly the other way, Maurice Washington, the right-hand layup. Carterville needs a timeout. Shane Hawkins is going to let him play, though. It's an 8-point Indian lead here in the first conference game of 2021. Give credit to the Indians, man. With the big guy in there, they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you can't get any shots on the inside. Everything's going to have to come from the outside.
Bob passed it down and on the block, puts it up, can't get it to fall, gets his own board. Ball is blocked from behind. Indians take it the other way. Ethan Morris behind the back dribble, turns it over. Downen has it. Downen just looks tired, truthfully. Takes it to the block, off the glass, and a foul is going to be called on Maurice Washington, and that is going to be number 3.
Yep, he's going to come out. I think Baxter's coming in for him, but this game is not at the pace Carterville wants it. Carterville wants to get into a half-court game. They'll take the break if it's there. But right now the pace is not what Coach Hawkins wants.
Makes me wonder, too. You know, there's a lot of teams that they want that run and gun offense, but the effect that having to wear the mask is having. I'm telling you, Eli is gassed right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any legs. He's not getting into the legs with this free throw. He came up short on the first one. Here's the second. That's too strong. So it's 36-28, Indians basketball and the lead. Back into the game is Xavier Baxter for the Indians. He was dominant back in that first half, but got into foul trouble with 3. Over on the right side, nice move to the bucket. Jaden Smith, little jumper is good. He's got 4 in the game, and it's a 10-point Quoin lead.
They've hit 5 shots in a row from the field.
Townsend Barton into the game. Caden Hawkins, now Cade Lustenberger. Townsend Barton drives the baseline, takes it to the rack, banks it off the glass, no good. Rebound to Trajan Smith. Gets it to his brother, Jaden Smith. They work it around to the left side, open 3 from Baxter. Liner, no good. Ball winds up in the hands of Trajan Smith. Gets it to his brother, his long 3's no good, and Eli Downen comes in and rescues the Lions with the board. Carterville brings it back the other way. Under a minute to play, 45 seconds. Pass down low and banked off the glass for the Lions is Ben Hake.
That's only Carterville's 3rd field goal of the 3rd quarter.
Ben Hake's first field goal of the game. 8-point lead, 38-30. Indians ball is Ethan Morris gets it up top between the circles. Jaden Smith. Quoin looks to slow it down. Carterville's matched up man-to-man. The clock rolls, 24 seconds remaining. Indians want to get it back to a 10-point or better lead here at the end of the third quarter. It was 12-7 Quoin at the end of one. Carterville on top, 23-22. Carterville's only scored 7 points here in this third quarter. That's not unusual for the Lions. Over long three, off the iron, no good. 2 seconds, 1 second. The long baseball throw from Little Hawkins is no good. And as we head to the fourth quarter, it's a 38-30 lead for Quoin. Stay with us. Fourth quarter action is coming up next here on News Radio WJPF. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by SIH for acute, inpatient, and outpatient care. Visit SIH.net for more information.
Carterville 21% from the field in the third. Quoin 44%.
38-30. Indians with the 8-point lead as we start play here in the fourth quarter. Townsend Barton takes the ball, gets it to Ben Hake. He patiently gets the defender in the air, banks it off the glass. Ben has 4 points now, and it's back to it cuts the lead to 6 for the Indians. Nice patience shown there with the basketball by Hake. 38-32. Baxter has it. Now they work it right side, dump it down low to Maurice Washington. Wants to take it to the rack, banks it off the glass. Maurice Washington just muscles his way to the board. He's got a 10 into double digits. He's probably got how many boards as well?
He's got 8.
6 or 8, I was going to say. 8-point lead for the Indians. Oh, floater from Caden Hawkins across the free throw line. He's into double digits scoring-wise. 10 for Caden, and it's a 6-point Indian lead. Boy, this one's coming down to the wire. You can just feel it.
Now, the Carterville Lions, if they're going to win this game, they'll have to do it with defense.
They got the guys on the floor to do it right now. Top of the key, just inside the arc, buried for 2 by Trajan Smith. That's his first field goal of the game, and it's back to an 8-point Indian lead. Townsend Barton runs into Smith, gets it to Caden Hawkins. So on the floor, it's Caden Hawkins, Ben Hake, Townsend Barton, Jake Hickson, and Cade Lustenberger. Townsend Barton picks up a foul as he charges, put his shoulder into the defender for Quoin, and that's going to be foul number 3 on number 13, and he's frustrated.
Yeah, it's the 5th turnover for Carterville. They actually could have called him at the top of the key for a forearm, but they didn't. They let it go, and then what you're seeing now is frustration.
Absolutely, and that's why Shane Hawkins is talking to, is it Decathlete? Is that the right word?
I think it is.
Did I say that right?
Can you spell it?
Nope.
Okay.
He's talking to Townsend Barton, and it was Peyton Biddle that came in to replace number 13. Indians ball, and the 8-point lead. Long 3, right side is good from Jaden Smith, and we have a timeout on the floor. 7 for Jaden Smith, and a timeout is called. Maybe not. There was a whistle that stopped play.
I don't know what they haven't put up a foul on the board. I don't know.
Can't explain it. It's an 11-point Indian lead, though, 45-34. 6 minutes remaining. Carterville needs to get busy if they want to get back in this game. Peyton Biddle loses the handle, takes it, tried to dribble through the defense through a double team. Right-hand layup, though, on the other end. Jaden Smith, he only had 2 at the half. He's got 9 total here in the game so far. 7 second-half points for the point guard for the Indians. Jake Hickson runs into the Washington. Long 3 from the left wing for the Lions is no good, and it's Xavier Baxter that pulls down the board. Indians on the run the other way. Drive into the paint, dump it down low. Big guys there. Maurice Washington banks it off the glass. Timeout. Shane Hawkins, Carterville Lions. It is a 15-point lead for DuQuoin at the 5:25 mark. This is Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF. 60, please. 60, please. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating in downtown Carterville. For installs or repairs, call 985-2502 and get back to comfort this season. Proudly supporting Carterville Lions. Peyton Biddle has his pass blocked from behind, or excuse me, a shot blocked from behind, but he gets fouled and will go to the line and shoot 2.
Here's all you need to know about this second half. Carterville has made 5 field goals in the second half. DuQuoin has made 5 consecutive shots in the fourth quarter.
And the other thing you need to know is Maurice Washington just picked up his 4th foul, which is good news for the Lions.
Yes.
Peyton Biddle hits the free throw. That is 5 now for Biddle. Coming back into the game for the Lions is going to be Ben Hake, and he is going to be replacing Jake Hickson. Well, it's so nice to see Jake playing a lot of minutes because his career, he's had to battle injuries, and he's in there fighting with a guy 6'8" tonight and done an admirable job as Peyton Biddle hits the free throw. Indians ball. 13-point lead. Spin move. Xavier Baxter got his shot blocked by Eli Downen, so Baxter will go to the stripe and he'll shoot 2, as it was Eli that picked up the foul.
You know, Baxter's what will they list him at? The guy 6 foot. He's got some girth to him, but he can also move very well.
He'd make I wonder if it's a running back for the Indians for football, because he can run right over the top of you. He's quick, got great hands, spin moves. Really impressed with him. First time I've seen him. I don't remember him being with the Indians in the past. Maybe on the underclassmen as the Indians. There's a shot down here on the near side for the Lions and a timeout on the floor. We'll take a break as well. Under 5 to play. 4:57. It's 51-36. We'll be back in 60 here on News Radio WJPF. 51-36, the Indians lead the Lions here with 4:56 remaining in the ball game. Indians ball. They trigger to Wade Roberson. He's been quiet here in the second half. And a whistle and a foul from the official on the back side as he comes in. Flashes the 1-2. That is the number of Peyton Biddle. It's going to be foul number 1 on Biddle.
DuQuoin's been consistent from the field. They've shot anywhere between 40 and 44% in the game.
And they have the 51-36 lead. Up 15, Jaden Smith has Hawkins on him. Right-hand dribble blows by Hawkins, takes it into the paint, runs over the top of Peyton Biddle, and Jaden Smith picks up foul number 3 on the charge for the Indians.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach of DuQuoin not happy. You got a 15-point lead, and you're going to try to drive through 2-3 players. Probably not the best thing to do.
Give credit to Peyton Biddle. You know, Jaden Smith blew right by Caden Hawkins, but right behind Caden was the sophomore Peyton Biddle, who just stood there, took the charge. And Carterville gets the ball back. Cade Lustenberger up top, pulls up the dribble, tries to get it to down, and it winds up with Biddle. Biddle under the paint, lays it up with the left hand. It was a little short, and the rebound to Trajan Smith for the Indians. Outlet pass to Roberson. Spin move. Floater with the left hand is good. Beautiful shot from Wade Roberson. He has 11.
And the turnover as Lustenberger steps on. No, I'm sorry. I thought they were going to call it.
Stepping over the end line.
Yeah, but they didn't. They just blew the whistle.
It's a lot of whistles after a bucket for some reason tonight. That's about the third or fourth time. 53-36. Caden Hawkins drives the left side, lays it up with the right-hand lane. He's got a dozen for the Lions. And now it's 53-38. Carterville putting pressure on in the backcourt. 3:40 remaining. Skip past left wing, open 3 for the Indians. Off the iron, no good. Ben Hake the board for Carterville. Shane says, let's run. We're going to run the ball. Caden Hawkins into the front court. Dumps it to Biddle. Right wing, gets it down low to Downen. His left-hand layup is good. That's the first bucket. The second field goal for Downen here in the half. He had 11 points at the break. He's got 15 now. Carterville trails by 13. Bounce pass down low off the block. Left-hand layup is good. For the Indians, it is Wade Roberson that gets the bucket for the Lions.
It's been too easy in this second half for DuQuoin. They've been wide open on their shots on the outside. They've been able to get to the hole very easily, and it's just been downhill ever since the start of the third quarter for the Lions.
Didn't see what happened there, Scotty.
He missed the free throw.
Carterville's ball. Trail by 15 from the right side. That shot is no good. The Indians take it the other way. Into the paint. Out top, it goes to Jaden Smith. For some reason, in my mind, I'm wanting to say Jaden Schwartz. I know that's not right.
And I think Mr.
Jaden
Washington
Smith
just fouled out of the game.
I think he did. Number 5, as he starts to walk his way over toward the bench.
For Carterville, it may be too little too late, but the big man was definitely an impact player in this second half.
Guess we may have lost our signal there on WJPF momentarily. Hopefully we're back. As it's a 15-point lead. Open 3 from Biddle. Misses it from the left corner. Gets his own board, but his pass was intended for Eli Downen. And it's just a little bit out of the reach of the 6'4 senior. Turns the ball over, gives it back to DuQuoin.
Carterville 1 of 11 from beyond the arc. And they have 7 turnovers in this half compared to only 4 in the first half.
2:20 remaining. Carterville in jeopardy of losing their first game of the season. And the Indians, can I say this the right way, in jeopardy of winning their first?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right. Offensive
nice
rebound
putback by Roberson as he's there to clean up the missed shot from the right wing. He's got 13. And the Indians have just poured it on the Lions here in the second half. An impressive second half as Downen has his shot blocked, taking it to the rack. The foul is going to be on Roberson, his first. But an impressive display by the Indians here in the second half.
So Carterville 1 point away from their average.
Downen's at the stripe. First free throw is good. This Lions broadcast brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale, offering the convenience of mobile banking. Stay connected and on the go with the Bank of Carbondale's mobile banking app. It's where you can check balances, make transfers, pay bills, and more. Visit tboc.com to learn more about mobile banking. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Downen hits the free throw. 57-42, 15-point lead. Caden Hawkins hits the floor. And Quoin spreads it out, works the perimeter. They work it toward the right side. Minute and a half remaining. Don't forget, SIRR's timeout is called. Replacements starting to come in for Coach Jason James. Townsend Barton will head to the floor, replacing Cade Lustenberger for the Lions. Gets the tap on the back from Coach Shane Hawkins. 57-42, 15-point lead for the Indians. They find the open man cutting toward the bucket. That is Trajan Smith. He's got 4 in the game, 17-point lead now, as 70 seconds remain in the contest. Carterville will drop the season open conference game tonight. Peyton Biddle has his shot partially blocked, gets it back, lays it off the glass. Peyton's got 8 in the game.
Yeah, Biddle's played a good game.
Caden Hawkins has 12, 59-44. Biddle steals the ball for the Lions, takes it to the glass, lays it with the left hand, nice and soft. Double digits now for the sophomore. Carterville almost forced another turnover. Jaden Smith leaves it for Roberson, misses the layup, gets his own board, and banks it home. 15 now for Roberson. And the clock ticks under 30. Eli Downen takes the long three from the left wing, off the iron, rebound to the Indians. Carterville steps out there, going to defend the final 20 as Jaden Smith steps across the timeline. Carterville not really putting pressure, and that's going to do it. Carterville is going to go to 2-1. Quoin wins their first game of the season, and the final score is going to be 61-46. The Indians on top of the Lions. Stay tuned. Our John A. Logan postgame show is next on News Radio WJPF. (61-46) the final score is the Quoin Indians. They win their first game of the season. They're now 1-2 on the year. Carterville, who won the first 2 games of the year, dropped their first conference game of the season. Final score 61-46. Good ball game by the Quoin Indians. Carterville, just like they have the first couple of games, struggled off and on throughout the game, but it was Quoin that put them away here in the second half with the 61-46 15-point win. Scotty?
Yeah, the second half was just unbelievable for Quoin shooting the ball. They were 17 of 29 from the field in that second half. They had 3 3-pointers in that second half. They ended up shooting 51% from the field for the game. Carterville, another cold night from the field, 31% from the field for Carterville. They only had 9 field goals in the second half. Shooting from the free throw line, Carterville 13 of 20. Quoin only 4 of 10. Carterville from beyond the arc, 1 of 12. Quoin 5 of 16. Rebounding, Carterville out-rebounded badly tonight on the boards. Quoin 36 rebounds, and Carterville's 23. For Quoin, they were led in rebounding by Washington with 9. Carterville was led in rebounding by Hake with 6. Carterville 11 turnovers, 7 of those coming in the second half. Quoin had 17 turnovers for the game, but the big difference in this game was the second half shooting from Quoin. They ran off 6 straight field goals to start that fourth quarter, and that was all she wrote for Carterville.
Exactly. It was about a 30-second burst there by them where they just got the ball down low, scored quick, and that's what really put the game out of reach for Carterville. They never really could recover from that. 61-46. When you look at scoring for the Indians tonight, they were led by the 6'3 senior Wade Roberson. He really kind of stays out on the perimeter, waits for the pass to come to him. The guards do a nice job finding him open. He winds up with just 1 3-pointer in the game. Maurice Washington, the 6'8 junior, he wound up with 12, second leading scorer for the Lions, or excuse me, for the Indians, but he does foul out there late in the contest. With 9 tonight, it was the point guard Jaden Smith, Jake Prather with 4, Trayshawn Smith has 4, Ethan Morris had 2 3-pointers, winds up with 8 in the game, and Xavier Baxter, who's just a beast, he winds up with 6 points. Indians hang 61 on the Lions here in this contest tonight. Carterville led tonight by Eli Downen unofficially with 17 points. Caden Hawkins chipped in an even dozen, and Peyton Biddle into double digits for the Lions. He winds up with 10. Also on the board, Townsend Barton had a free throw. Ben Hake winds up with 4, and Jake Hickson, I have him listed for just 1 free throw. And Carterville, again, averaging just a little over 40 points a game. They wind up with 46 tonight. That's probably going to push their average to 43 a game, somewhere in there. But they give up 61 tonight, 61-46. Coach Shane Hawkins still working the boys over just below us here at Anders Gymnasium. Wasn't a good performance by the Lions, especially in the second half.
Yeah, the second half, they just couldn't get things going offensively, and they tried to do things at too fast a pace. They turned the ball over several times in that third quarter. And give Quoin credit, they took advantage of those turnovers, turned them into points. I thought Quoin's guards were much better in the second half than the first half. They were breaking Carterville's defense down. They were getting into the lane, dishing the ball off for open threes, or taking it to the hole and scoring. So give credit to Quoin. They're the team that played the better second half. And, I said in the pregame that, to win in conference or even in high school basketball, you're going to have to score around, high 50s, low 60s to win a game. And as we saw tonight, Quoin gets 61 and wins because Carterville is still stuck, averaging about 42, 43 points a game. And I don't know how you get out of this offensive funk shooting from the field. I don't know if they can, find somebody out on the street that can come in and shoot. But I think a lot of it is between the ears right now for Carterville. I agree. I think they have no confidence.
I promise you it's between the ears right now. That's what's going on.
They're not going to need ear swabs after this talking they're getting. It
is between the ears right now. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. Hey, we still need to name our Joe's Lawn Care and Snow Removal star of the game. And I think we're going to have to go with a couple of Quoin Indian players.
Well, yes. They're just – again, the second half was what won this game for them. And I thought, at the start of the game, Washington had 2 real quick stickbacks on misses.
Yep.
And then he wasn't really a factor the rest of the first half because he got in foul trouble. But, man, in the second half, he just was a load. He ended up with 8, 9 rebounds for the game. So there's one of your guys right there that could be one of the stars of the game.
We'll name our Joe's Lawn Care and Snow Removal star of the game coming up here in just a couple minutes. Stay with us. This is the John A. Logan post-game show here on News Radio WJPF.
Who do you think? Who you going to go with? I'll let you pick.
Truthfully, I was impressed with Washington.
Yeah.
Even though he fouled out, he played a good ball game. And he dominated us in that second half. (61-46) the final score on the road at Quoin tonight as the Indians pick up the first win of the season and they get the conference win. Scott, that's a big win for the Indians.
Well, it is. And coming into this game, I said, Quoin had played the better competition. Take nothing away from Heron or Trico, but Benton and Murfreesboro, are a notch or two above what Carterville had played to this point. So they had lost 2 games by double digits. So coming into this game, they thought, man, we're playing a team that's 2-0. We're 0-2. And in the first half, they had their issues. They were turning the ball over. They weren't scoring. They had their big man in foul trouble. But then the second half came around, and it was like a light went off in the Quoin locker room, and they just took off in that third quarter and then just opened the game up, blew it open with 6 straight field goals to start that fourth quarter.
Our Joe's Lawn Care and Snow Removal star of the game, Scott Hudson. I think I'm going to go with the 6'8" junior from Quoin, Maurice, Washington. An impressive game. First time I can remember seeing him. I don't recall him from last year, but that may be me. But he winds up with 12 points in the game. But he was impressive on the boards, and I was impressed with what I saw with him.
Well, he was one of the difference makers for Quoin in that second half. When he got the ball down low, he looked to score. In the first half, if he wasn't down on the block, he was looking to pass the ball. I mean, he wasn't even looking to shoot. But in that second half, he was just dominant. And what happened was once he started scoring on the inside, that opened up things on the outside. They started hitting some threes, getting some easy layups, and he probably was the difference in this game, at least in the second half for Quoin.
And Wade Roberson winds up with 15 for the Indians. He was another candidate for our Joe's Lawn Care and Snow Removal star of the game. Joe's Lawn Care and Snow Removal, rain or shine, sleet or snow, called Joe, owned by Joe and Lindsay McCann for over 20 years, specializing in commercial, residential, landscaping, maintenance, tree trimming, snow removal. Plus, don't forget they do hedge trimming, they do equipment repair, they do a little bit of everything. Call them at 618-534-8148. Joe's Lawn Care and Snow Removal, star of the game tonight for Quoin, Maurice, Washington, as the Indians knock off the Lions tonight, 61-46. Stay tuned. Coach Shane Hawkins has joined us. Post-game show continues here. The John A. Logan post-game show on News Radio WJPF. Back at DuQuoin, it's Dave McKenzie along with Scott Hudson as we have Coach Shane Hawkins join us here on News Radio WJPF. 61-46 the final score. Coach, got to give credit to DuQuoin. They put the Lions away here in the second half, and just Carterville was cold. Couldn't get anything going.
The problem was I think they were 21 of 35 from the field or somewhere in that vicinity. And our half-court defense was not great, but it wasn't nearly as bad as the numbers are going to suggest. The issue was we took so many poor shots that it led to them getting in transition, and that's where they were able to get us. It was our bad offense that led to them getting layups. When it was in the half-court the first half, they had 22 points. And we had the last possession in 20, and we took a really bad shot with about 30 seconds left. Again, a bad shot. We're up 23-20 with the ball. We should have had the last possession of the half, going up 5 or 6, or at worst 3. Take a bad shot, they get one there late, and it kind of gave them a little bit of momentum. But that was the second half. And they scored 39 in the second half.
Yep.
And a lot of it was because of our bad shot selection that led to them getting on transition.
Yeah, Coach, once they got on that little bit of a run there in the third quarter, I thought, when they would score, you would come down maybe too quickly and just rush things when you didn't need to. I think it almost looked like they panicked there for a little while, and then it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, first time we've been down all year, or like this, and we didn't respond very well. We tried to fight it by scoring faster. It's kind of like the baseball analogy where you try to hit a grand slam with nobody on base. Not going to happen. So one bad shot led to them getting in transition. You got another one, a turnover or a missed shot or something at the rim that we missed, and it goes to the other end again, and just couldn't get it stopped. And again, it wasn't the defensive effort. I thought the defense was above average. It was pretty good when it was in the half court. But we weren't very good in full court transition D, and they had numbers and turned into a lot of points there in the second half.
Coach, so what do you work on between now and Friday night when AJ comes in, and then on Saturday night it's not going to get any easier? You got Pinckneyville coming in.
No, I didn't lie. I thought they dominated the paint on both ends tonight. And when you get beat in the paint on both ends, that's a toughness deal. And they out-toughed us. They out-physicaled us. They out-strengthed us. They finished at the rim where we got to the rim, and maybe there's a little contact, but we didn't finish, nor did we get the foul. A couple times we went away from contact, so we didn't get the foul and took a tougher shot. And when you do that, it's tough. When you get dominated on the paint on both ends, it makes for a long night, and that's what we got in the second half.
And you said in the pregame interview that typically the winner, who is the more physical, more the hustle plays, they come away with the win, and that's exactly what happened.
I thought we competed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't that we didn't
I mean,
play
you
hard.
had great defensive guys that took charges, 4 charges tonight.
So we're competing, but it's that it factor you talk about. How many times did we have our hands on a rebound that we don't get?
Yep.
That leads to a pick. I think one of them, they got kicked out. We tip it, they grab it and kick it, and they get a 3 in the corner.
Yep.
I mean, those are backbreakers. But that would happen a lot. And it's happened in 3 games where we've had our hands on a lot of rebounds or loose balls, and we don't come up with it. And again, I think that goes into that kind of toughness category. Instead of just going to snatch the ball where nothing else matters, go get the ball. We'll worry about going on offense or sticking it back in or whatever. We'll worry about that later. We have to have that toughness to focus on going get the ball first.
15-point win for the Indians over Carterville tonight. Right back at it Friday and Saturday. As you sit here, what are you thinking?
I think there's going to be a lot of long weeks like this where you play Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. We got to be able to bounce back because it's one of those things. It can control your season if you lose one on Tuesday night and then you can't at least go get a split on the weekend. You can go get on a 5 or 6 game losing streak real fast. And you don't have time in the season to lose 5 in a row or 6 in a row. Right. So it's going to get tough. It's conference games we talked about earlier. Conference games they're different. They're a different animal. I don't care what conference you're in or what level. Conference games are a little bit different, and we've got to be ready to go fight the Wildcats on Friday night.
Yeah, Coach. One last thing. One of the positives out of this game, I thought, was the play of your two sophomores, Caden and Peyton. I thought they, both in double figures tonight, I thought they played well on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, they play really, really hard. They don't always do everything right, but if there's something going on, it seems like they're always in the middle of it. Those guys have got to play. They have to be on it. We were better when those sophomores are on the floor, and you go back and look through 3 games. They're the ones that bring energy, and they don't do everything right. I'm well aware, but man, they bring energy and they make things happen, and that's what we're trying to look for. And I thought Townsend brought great energy tonight.
Yeah, he got a little frustrated.
He did, and that's he plays really hard. And the one thing I talked to him when I took him out there late is, you play really hard, and when you go to the rim, you're really athletic, you're really strong, you're really physical. So a lot of times, he's going to fall hard, and it may not be a lot of contact. Sometimes he gets fouled. Sometimes he doesn't, but he just goes so hard that any kind of nudge, and he lands hard. So we got to get him to, when you land hard and you don't get the call, let's go play. And he wants to go get retaliation on the next one. He goes and usually it's a bad foul on the other end. But man, he plays really, really hard, and it was great to get. I used him a lot in the JV game, just because he hasn't been with us, just to kind of build him up a little bit. And I thought he just plays with such great energy, and those guys who have energy, that's kind of what we have to build around.
61-46, the final score, Coach. Shane Hawkins, thanks.
All right, we'll see you guys Friday night. Thank you.
61-46, the final score. Quoin knocks off the Carterville Lions this evening. First conference game of the season. Carterville right back in action Friday night when they host Anna Jonesboro. Saturday, Pinckneyville Panthers are in town.
Well, I've always said this about, doesn't matter what sport it is, you find out a lot about your team and individuals when they face adversity. This is the first time Carterville as a team has faced adversity this year. They're coming home for the first time, playing an AJ team that got beat by Johnson City last week, not taking anything away from AJ, but this looks like a game if Carterville can, figure some things out, can go to 3-1 on the season. But I'm sure a lot of things are going to be done between now and then at practice. You're probably going to see some different lineups, going forward. But we don't know about Bryce Anderson's ankle. That didn't look good in the second half. He had to come out quickly. So we'll see how they face adversity come Friday night Friday night against AJ.
61-46, the final score. We also want to say thank you to one of our brand new sponsors. So brand new, we couldn't get an actual commercial recorded. So I'm going to say this. To Advanced Surgical Technology. Excuse me. They offer same-day appointments and real people to answer the phone when you call in Marion and Mount Vernon with their locations. That's where they provide the highest level of integrity and service. You can find them online. Visit advancedsurgicaltechnology.com today. Thank you for joining our live broadcast. We're back at it Friday night, 7:30, the pregame show here on News Radio WJPF, and Saturday night, same thing. Pinckneyville Panthers in town. We'll have the pregame show starting at 7:30 as well. Be careful tonight.
Yes, and tomorrow.
Stay warm, stay safe, and folks, excuse me, pay attention to the weather all week. It's just going to be one of those brutal weeks, but we'll try to warm your hearts coming up this weekend with more Carterville Lions sports right here on News Radio WJPF. For our producer engineer back at the studio, Brian, our pal, for my broadcast partner, Scott Hudson, I'm Dave McKenzie. Have a great night, and God bless.